Today I'll be doing a review of different glue sticks and how washable they really are. This ranges from Elmer's glue to Roxanne's glue stick, 505 glue stick, and then the refills from Sewline, Quilter's Select and Fons and Porter.
So the reason for this test on these glues today is because of something that happened to this quilt recently. This quilt is a lot lighter than the other quilts that I usually make, so this hasn't been a problem until now, but I had a problem where the glue started to reappear after it got damp. So what happened was I marked these whiskers on with a washable pen. No problem there, pen was good, so that I could mark the lines on after I quilted, and then I spritzed it with water to make those lines disappear. However, at that point the glue underneath these areas started to show through again, and it was bright yellow, and it'll be one of the glues that we test today as well. But I don't know whether that's because I touched it with an iron beforehand or whether it was going to do that anyway, which is why we're going to test both a heated and an unheated sample. But I tried hand washing it out in the bath, didn't work. I put it in 2 different machine cycles, didn't work, and in the end what I had to do was rip all of the quilting out, take that piece out and reapply it, and then quilt it again. And because of that washing, it made all of the background shrink up, so it became really wrinkly, and I hated the effect. So what I had to do was cut out all of this applique again and reapplicate it to this new background. It has canvas inside because it's a wall hanging, and that shrunk really bad. So that was also part of the problem, and that's why it got so wrinkly. And then it's now got like this kind of trapunto effect, which I do like. But this area is now like 6 layers of fabric, maybe more. So we've got the top fabric, the batting, the canvas, the backing, and then the same again. Yeah, so there's like 8 layers within just this part of the quilt, which is a lot. So that's why I'm doing the glue test today, because I have another project on my table that is a commission, and I need it to go well, and I need it to be washable in the future. So let's jump into the glue selection that I have. So here's the selection of glues that we're going to use today. I was recommended this Roxanne glue based it glue. I've never used it before. I did a quick test beforehand, and it doesn't like glue instantly, which means for the purpose of these paint by numbers style quilts that I make with the turned edge, I need that glue to work straight away. I can't be waiting for it to kind of dry, which is why I prefer the stick version of these glues rather than like one where you have to apply it with a nozzle. So we're not going to use this one today, but we are going to use these ones. So I've already cut these bits of fabric ready for the test. We have Fons and Porter blue refills. I will do a heated and a normal non-heated test, and then this is just a piece of base fabric to stick both of those to. We have the Sewline pink version, and and this one should be say blue on it, so I'm just going to change that to say blue because we have blue ones as well. Then we have the Quilter Select yellow ones, and these are the ones I had the problem with, so I expect the test to be the same. And I just chose this light grey fabric just because I had scraps of it, and it's light enough that you can see the glue through it, and it's just a Kona colour. These all these ones here all fit into this style of pen, and these pens are universal. You can put any refill into them. I actually already have the yellow one in here, and there's an old one I'm going to throw away in this one to try one of these new ones. Other glues we have, this was provided to me by Along Came Quilting in Calgary. I've not even opened the packaging, so I'm not quite sure what this is going to be like, but I'm hoping it's a stickier version than the Roxanne glue that everyone raves about, that I can use straight away. Then I have the Elmer's glue stick with the add-on extruder that makes it come out thinner in the nozzle. I will put the details for that on the screen because I am likely to pronounce that incorrectly, but they weren't particularly cheap in Canada. I think I paid something like $30 plus over $10 postage for just the extruded part. So I'll tell you a bit more about that as well. When I say extruded, I mean it's 3D printed. And lastly, I saw this on the counter again in Along Came Quilting. It's the Odif 505. You probably have heard of it for as a basting spray, but it's also available in this glue stick now, and it is very, very dark blue. So that's suggesting to me that that might also be a problem, just because of how strong that colour is compared to the other coloured glues that I've used. But we'll give that a try as well. So we have 7 samples right here that we're going to just stick and test. But first, I'm just going to change the writing on this. Okay, let's just start with the glue sticks first. I will go from my left onwards with the 505 temporary glue stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the blank fabric, that's going to go in the middle. I'm going to apply one to one side and one to the other. I'll probably do it that way so you can still read the text. This is not iron away text, this is just a regular ballpoint pen, so it should hold up if we need to wash it. So I'm hoping that we only have to spritz it with water, but we might have to wash it. I'm going to apply some of this glue here. You see how dark it is? Really dark. I'm going to stick it under, because this is how I would go about making these quilts. So I'm going to just do the process exactly the same, and then I'm going to apply glue again to then stick that to the base. So my first impressions of this glue is that it does glue straight away, so there's none of that waiting for it to dry, which is great. So I quite like that. I'm just going to repeat the same process with the other piece. This. And so that is my sample done. I will also, once I've done all of these samples, I will stitch them just along the fold, and then what I'll do from there is then we'll add the heat and we'll do the rest of the test. But first things first, we have to get all of these samples ready.
With these 3D printed parts, you have to kind of really keep it clamped down on the stick so that the glue comes out and so that the cap just doesn't come off, which is a little bit awkward. So just so you're aware of that. And this is just standard Elmer's glue, so I'm expecting that this will be fine because there's no colour to it. But I thought it would be worth mentioning just because it's a tool that you could try. See, I'm turning that and it's actually just bringing that up and down rather than coming out the end. The other problem with it is there's quite a lot of waste left in the cap, so when you run out of glue here, there's a load in here that you then have to kind of scrape out, which is a bit annoying. But the pro is it's a lot cheaper to use those glue sticks than it is to buy these kind of more expensive ones. So this is the Roxanne stick. It's white, so again, should be good, like the Elmer stick, in that it doesn't have colour to it, so that's nice. Let's try gluing it and see what happens. Yeah, 2 minutes to do that side. This is very thin. It doesn't have a lot of goop left behind. It seems reasonably tacky actually, so let's just... Yeah, this is looking good so far. The only downside I can really see to this straight away is that it doesn't have refills, so once you use the glue stick you have to throw it away and buy a new one. At $12.99 it's quite expensive for one glue. And let's just stick that down. And we'll include it in the test anyway, but yeah, it's a very nice product actually. It's just, it could be, oh, let's glue the other side. It just could be a bit expensive for the amount of glue that I use in these projects. If you just use it for small applications, it might be a good investment actually. You see how it sticks straight away? Unlike the original Roxanne glue. So there's that. And then the next part of the test
I'm going to use the glue I already have in here for my last project for these, and then for these 3 I'm going to put one into this pen and then try and put it back into the packaging so that I can save it and it doesn't dry out, because I only have the 1 pen and 3 lots of different colours to try. Now these should all be made in the same factory, so I do expect that if you've got a blue Fons and Porter it will act the same way as the blue Sewline, but I thought we should have 2 different brands so that we can actually test that theory. Now that everything's glued, I'm just going to take these pieces to the sewing machine and sew down along the folds. So everything is now sewn together, it's all nice and secure. The next step is to just get everything damp, and for that I've just got a little spray bottle with water in it. It's just water. So I'm going to spray water on both sides, both the side that's going to be heated shortly and the non-heated side, and then what I'll do is, while it's still damp, I'll press the heated side, and then I'll leave everything to dry and we'll see what everything looks like afterwards. So let's get going. So this is the 505 stick, and this is just the water that I was using when I was doing my test before. So far I'm not seeing any colour coming through, which is great. I'm just going to add a bit more water just to make sure it's nice and wet. And the next one is the Sewline pink refill. And I could probably just dip these in water if I wanted to. I think I'm starting to see that pink coming back. It's quite hard to see, but it is there. Next we have the Roxanne pen, which was clear anyway, so I don't expect anything to happen. So it's almost like a control. Of the Fons and Porter blue refill. Yeah, you can see now that that pink one's really starting to show. Here's the blue one from Fons and Porter. Yeah, that blue's starting to come through as well. You can see that almost straight away. And so what we should do now is the Sewline one, because I suspect this is the same. It's just got different branding on the packaging. I think the actual product is identical and made in the same factory. So there is the other one. That one is also coming through. Just going to make a bit more room. We have 2 more left. We have the yellow refill, the one that caused me all the problems in the first place. So I think I know what to expect from this, and the colour is already coming through. I don't know if you can see that coming back. That's quite obvious, and it's actually worse than the pink one. Probably not as bad as the blue. So far, if I was to choose a colour just based on what it looks like wet, without it drying, I would be choosing the pink, if I didn't have one of the non-coloured options available. And then lastly, another control really, it's the Elmer's glue. So now I'm just going to head over to the iron, give the heated side a little press, and then we'll put it back on the plastic and we'll see what that looks like. Right, so the results are in. This one, the 505 stick, was the brightest colour, or the deepest colour at least. As you can see, both the heated and the non-heated side aren't showing any signs of that blue colour. So that's a safe product to use in the paint by number quilts that I do, or any other method where you might be getting the glue wet. I also have the other controls. We had the Elmer's glue using the extruder cap. This was kind of a bit weird. It kind of looks a bit grubby on the edge. I don't know if this dirty mark here is just because my iron needs a clean, but it is kind of, the glue from the other side did kind of push through to the surface when I heated it, but obviously there's no colour there, it's just a little bit dirty, so maybe just kind of exercise caution with the Elmer's glue if you choose to use that, because it is a nice cheap glue to use. I just struggle a little bit with the cap keeping it in place. Next was the Roxanne pen, and I was really actually impressed with this product, and I was very glad to have been given this sample to try. So this is what that looks like. There again, there's a tiny bit of grubbiness over on the heated side, so that's making me think it definitely is my iron, but there isn't as much as there was with the Elmer's glue. That could be something, it could be nothing, it could just be the area of my iron that touched the fabric. But it stuck down very nicely. There's no shiny crispiness that's come through from the other side to the surface, so probably all in all it's between the 505 stick and the Roxanne glue stick in the kind of the glue stick non-refillable category. So let's move on to the refill category, and we have got some interesting findings here. The two Sewline colours we had pink and we had blue. So the pink one, as you can see, is completely fine, both whether it was heated or left to just dry naturally without the iron touching it. And so I'm quite happy with the pink. I would definitely continue to use pink on lighter fabrics. Then we have the blue. So these are more readily available. These are the ones you normally would find in stores if you only have one colour choice. And so with these, I would say it's very similar between the blue and the pink. Like when I put them the two side by side, I can't tell the difference. I wouldn't be able to tell you if I hadn't written on them which one was which. So that's a good sign. I would also use the blue ones in the future as well. Then I also tried the Fons and Porter ones. These should be the same as the Sewline ones, just because if you ask other people who work in quilt stores and what have you, they would say that they're probably made in the same factory. They just have different coloured caps on them and they're in a slightly different branded packaging. So I didn't expect to see anything different really between the two blue refills, but side by side that kind of confirms for me that these are pretty much the same. So these ones are safe as well. I would also use the Fons and Porter ones. Sadly I didn't find any of the Bohin branded ones, and I think that they would probably be the same, just for the same reason that they're probably all made in the same place. But the interesting findings come with these. The Quilter Select yellow ones, the ones that originally started me on this journey and made me want to do this experiment. As you can see, after it got wet, the yellow has come back on both sides. So it's come back where it was heated, and it's come back where it was just wet and left to dry, and now it's perfectly dry and it's still yellow showing through the fabric. So I would definitely avoid these Quilter Select yellow refills at all costs, because again they look like they're all made in the same factory, and I haven't got a yellow one from a different brand. My advice really would be to just avoid yellow entirely, whatever brand it is. So I'm not going to specifically say that this Quilter Select brand is bad. If they also make other colours like blue and pink, I am absolutely sure that it would be fine. Maybe try a test first, similar to what I've done here, before you go ahead if you are using lighter fabrics. But I think I can say in summary that if I'm making quilts which use lighter fabrics, and I will be doing more of that in the future, I have a few commissions on right now, these are not going to be good for me. I'm not going to be using these. I won't be buying yellow in the Sewline brand either, or any of the other brands. Hopefully that was a useful exercise for you. It was for me, and I'll probably be doing similar kind of experiments like this on my YouTube channel going forward. I plan to make a video a month this year, so if you would like more content like this, more sewing, more quilting, then please follow me, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.